Elon got very excited and he said that his heart goes out. He was talking about various people. He said his heart goes out to them. Here's the clip, and then I'll explain what the left thought of this clip.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
Okay, so he says, my heart goes out to you. And he makes a motion where he reaches over to his chest, his heart, right? Out to you. And he throws it. It's an awkward motion. It's stiff-armed. So naturally, the left decides that Elon has become a brown shirt. That's clearly what happened. He covertly became a brown shirt. Sometime over the course of the last 72 hours, Elon Musk morphed into an actual honest-to-God, Hitler-loving Nazi.
So even Ben Shapiro, very prominent Jewish conservative commentator, is defending Elon Musk. Now, that carries some weight because Ben Shapiro is a pretty fierce defender of the Jewish people and against anti-Semitism. I mean, yes, he did keep Candace Owens on his platform, The Daily Wire, for a very long time, far into her anti-Semitic comments and opinions. But other than that, you know, he's generally pretty good on it, but also he's friends with Elon Musk. They traveled together when Elon Musk, which was a great thing, visited Auschwitz. You know, yesterday was Holocaust Remembrance Day, and so it's important to make sure that we remember the Holocaust, we make sure we never repeat it, and make sure we never empower behavior that can make it easier to stoke hatred of Jews or of any other group of marginalized people in this world. So what did Joe Rogan think about it? Take a look.
We were talking about the Elon gaffe, where he's like, my heart goes out to you.
So
like, hey,
silly.
Don't do that, though.
That's the perfect example of when you see a story, you
Yes.
believe it's true. If you believe he's a Nazi,
Right.
you're going to see him do a silly hand gesture and see that as that.
Well, he's saying my heart goes
Right,
out to
to
you.
you.
But that is how the
Fingers-
Nazis did it.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe, that's exactly how the Nazis did it. That's kind of how the name Nazi salute got coined. Historically speaking, it used to be called a Roman salute, but we don't call it that anymore because the Nazis started using it. We're not even sure if the Romans did it. There's not video from that time, but apparently Rogan went on to say that he uncovered that the Nazi salute used to be even done by American children doing the Pledge of Allegiance. That's the way you did the pledge until the Nazis did it, so therefore it stopped being a thing that you were able to do. Now, what it seems ridiculous to me is to claim that it was simply a my heart goes out to you gesture or salute, because that's not a thing, first of all. And secondly, Elon Musk knows how to do a my heart goes out to you gesture, because here's a video from another speech from another time, I'm not sure when, but him actually saying my heart goes out to you with making a heart and putting it kindly out to the audience. But here's the part that so much of the media has missed. When they try to show the full context, they say, look, he says, thank you all for making it happen. Does the salute and says, my heart goes out to you. The very next words he says is,
It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
you see, he right after that said, it is thanks to you the future of civilization is assured. That's a very key part that the media has missed, in especially those who have defended Elon Musk. And even those that are saying this is Nazi salute should have included this part, because the future of civilization is assured. Well, isn't a big part of Trump's rhetoric deporting immigrants, demonizing immigrants, something that Hitler certainly did in his rise to power and subsequent horrible genocide and Holocaust of the Jewish people and many others, killing 6 million Jews and 11 million people in total. So what does he mean by the future of civilization? Well, to clarify that, when he was on Rogan 2 days before the election, Musk said that he really believes if the Democrats win, there will never be another election in America.
I think if we don't elect Trump, I think we will lose. We will lose democracy in this country. We will lose the two-party system.
Well, that's a pretty strange opinion to have when Donald Trump's the one who doesn't honor elections and tried as hard as possible to make sure there wasn't another election because he didn't try to honor the one he lost. And Kamala Harris, despite shady things happening involving Elon Musk about Trump's election, and despite Trump even out loud saying a couple of times recently that they rigged this election, Kamala didn't challenge it in order to maintain a semblance of democracy in our country by not challenging every election. So almost she can't even call out what could be legit fraud now because Trump did it and cried wolf about it when he did. So when Elon on Rogan said there won't be another election if the Democrats win,
We will lose democracy in this country.
he was referring to them without any basis of fact, giving voting rights to undocumented immigrants so that they would overwhelm in future elections the Republicans, assuming that these undocumented immigrants would be voting Democrat.
There's only like six or seven swing states. The margin of victory in those states is small, often like 10 or 20,000 votes. What the Democrat administration has been doing is importing vast numbers of illegals into swing states. You can look at the numbers on the actual government website, meaning you don't take my word for it. You can just look at the numbers as reported by the government, which is controlled by the Democrats. And what we're seeing is triple-digit increases in the number of illegals in every swing state. It's not a swing state anymore. It's going to vote blue. And then once the swing states vote blue, there is no election anymore. There's only a Democrat primary.
So when he did his Nazi salute or not Nazi salute, whatever it was, in actuality, it's very hard to know someone's intent. It certainly is made shadier when he said that he didn't believe our civilization here in America would continue, and then did this weird salute and said, "You have saved the future of civilization by electing a man who plans to do mass deportations of people who are here seeking a better life." And again, that's different than deporting people who are violent criminals who are undocumented here as well. But Trump's plan includes doing all of it. And so that's an incredibly shady thing to make, and something that, of course, the media miss because they just run with the surface level and do not dig any bit deeper as to what the words could actually mean. But there's more shadiness from Elon Musk. A few days ago, live video conferencing into Germany's far-right party that has lots of shady flirting with Nazism moments happening, and tells them, don't be so ashamed of your past anymore. Move on from it. Move on from the shame of the Holocaust. Don't let the sins of your father hold you down.
But it's this apparent reference to Nazi Germany's history that is drawing attention.
I think there's frankly too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. Children should not be guilty of the sins of their parents.
Well, it's a weird timing a week after you did this salute, and even weirder, didn't then go on the platform X that you own, that you post on all the time, and immediately clear it up if that wasn't what you did, and instead make very juvenile jokes with a bunch of Nazi puns. That's not exactly the way to disavow that you were doing a Nazi salute, by making light of it. And so while the ADL gave you the benefit of the doubt originally, the Anti-Defamation League that defends Jewish people, for your initial salute, they condemned you heavily for that tweet, as do I. If you wanted to disavow this, don't make jokes about it, belittling and minimizing the Holocaust and the Nazis a day or two later. Actually go and apologize for those who misinterpreted it, and say clearly that was not what you were trying to do. And so whether or not he was actually trying to do that, to get the world to talk about him, to gain more power and influence for himself, or what I think is even more likely than that, is he's just a troll who loves to stir the pot, and Trump and him both don't have any problem empowering white supremacists, empowering Nazis, because it is more extremist, violent people that are on their side that they can call on when needed. Like when Trump told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by during an election, and now look, wow, coincidence, just let one of the leaders of the Proud Boys out of prison for his involvement in January 6th, as well as the leader of the Oath Keepers, and revoked their ban from Washington, D.C. And Stuart Rhodes, the Oath Keepers leader, has already gone to Washington, D.C. just a few days after he was released from jail. And I'm not just making up that white supremacists and neo-Nazis are inspired by what Elon Musk did, regardless of what his intent actually was. It's actually happening. It's all over Twitter. It's all over X, the platform that anti-Semitism has risen over 105% since Musk bought it. And it's not just Jewish commentators defending him like Ben Shapiro. It's actual white supremacist neo-Nazis like Nick Fuentes, who are incredibly giddy and excited about what Musk did. And again, what Musk did not clearly disavow after doing it, if it was such a mistake.
It wasn't even like a subtle, like a wave, like one of these, like a Laura Ingraham. Remember when Laura Ingraham did that? That was a straight up like loving energy.
Wow, how excited he is. Like a kid in a candy store run by Nazis, I guess. And by the way, that's the same Nick Fuentes, that anti-Semite Kanye West, took to Mar-a-Lago to have dinner with Donald Trump. A lot of pieces connecting there, isn't it kind of strange? And so when you put all of those pieces together, it does not paint a pretty picture for people who are trying to keep our country together, trying to unify us. In fact, seems quite clear they are trying to do the opposite and don't want anyone to check their power. Also backed up by the fact that Trump just fired, without even and following required protocol, the inspector generals of many government departments that are there specifically to find fraud, waste, and abuse, and call it out when they see it. They're independent, apolitical inspector generals, and Trump just got rid of these oversight people. Another sign you want to be able to run amok and run loose, and did it without even the 30-day warning to Congress or specific written reasons for due cause to do so that are required to let inspector generals like this go. So all of it doesn't add to a very good picture. And if you don't think doing a salute like that is problematic, try it yourself. Or maybe you shouldn't, because people wouldn't see it as a nice little oopsie daisy if you did it at your kid's PTA meeting or at your workplace, or as this Republican official in Pennsylvania tried it. And guess what happened? She lost her job. Look at this video she posted, which she said she did just to stir the pot.
Just checking in on my friends who are struggling this week. My heart goes out to you.
And she then resigned at the request of Pennsylvania officials that weren't cool with that. And she stepped down so the town could move forward. But when you're as powerful as Elon Musk, you can just make jokes and not even apologize. That's a two-tier justice system, if you ask me. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast Last Week on Earth and follow me on Instagram at Ben Gleib, or on X if you want. But if I ever do something wrong, I will apologize directly there if it's interpreted even as wrong, and that was not my intent. That's my promise to you.